it's the hot button topic right now. Domestic airline carriers, represented by the Airlines Operators of Nigeria, have canceled their scheduled flight suspension, which was set to begin today, Monday, May 9th. In a statement issued by the association president and approved by other members, they stated that they had listened to stakeholders and the federal government's appeals not to withdraw their services. There were also promises made to intervene. Joining me now from our Abuja studios is Captain Abdullahi Mahmood, who's the managing director of AERO Contractors, to discuss these issues. Good morning, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. So the AON has reversed its decision to suspend flights for May 9th, saying it has received, quote, according to the statement, numerous calls from the highest echelons in government with promises to urgently intervene in the crisis caused by the rising cost of Jet A1. Can you share with us what interventions have been promised?
Okay, good morning. Like you rightly say, we have received several calls, and we have not kept a kind of like a firm promise now, but per se, what we are looking at is discussions that have been ongoing for the past 2 months, which I believe right now the federal government have looked at it, and we are going to have a meeting with them today by 2 o'clock in the afternoon when we are called. And I think this time around, all things as promised were made, certain is going to be resolved. As you know, withdrawing the services, we look at it per se. It's not that we really want to withdraw our service, but like we rightly say, it was a situation that we cannot move forward with the rising cost of aviation fuel in Nigeria. That's why I had to really cause it, and calls were made, and we agree is in good faith. We agreed with the federal government that yes, dialogue have to be continued, and I believe we are going to have a lasting solution to this situation.
Okay, all right. So 2 o'clock, we'll see what happens after the outcome of that meeting. Now, there was some division among the airlines over this call to suspend flights. You know, Air Peace, Asman Air, they supported it, put out statements suspending it. Ibom Air, Dana, Overland Airways, they were against it. Is there a threat to the Airline Operators of Nigeria speaking with one voice going forward?
Yeah, if you say disunity or disagreement, I don't think that was really what happened. All of us, we have agreed and we stood by it. Dana, I believe, up to the afternoon when we had this call, we are coming to Abuja. We are all coming and we all agree that this have to continue. But like, you know, in aviation, when calls were made, and the reason why I believe AIPs, ASMAN, AERO, we have not kind of like bring our on time, because at that point in time, I think we left Lagos, we were flying. So when the calls come in, we agreed that, okay, you know, we are going to pull out. But unfortunately, it's like we didn't have time to start sending the messages to tell our people this, does. We're texting messages, typing. But, you know, in aviation, Dana and Overland, if we have to be in Lagos, definitely we'll send the message earlier on. Because if you keep the message later, passengers will not know, and at the end of the day, today, you find out that most passengers will not have the information. So the earlier you send the message when decision will make it, the better for you. So it's not kind of like division. There was no division. We all agree. And at the end of the day, you see all the airlines, we decided that, okay, later we send the messages. There was no disagreement among the airlines, absolutely. Okay. Yeah, for the IBOM, yes, they're the first person to say that, okay, you know what, they stopped that. Like I said in my interview yesterday, the decision they took, yeah, based on their own, they explained the reason why they took the decision. But fine, we know that there was no way somebody can continue operation with this present fuel prices. So, but maybe they might have some funding somewhere. I don't know. I don't know the reason. If you have funding somewhere, if we have extra funding somewhere, definitely we'll continue the operation. But if you don't have any source of funding somewhere, there's absolutely no way you can continue. But yeah, you talk about division, there's no division. We still stand by it, and we are all here together. We are continuing each and every decision that is taken. All the airlines, we are in agreement with that. So there's no division.
Fantastic. All right. So there's unity with the Airline Operators of Nigeria. Okay. The dialogue that's going to take place at 2 o'clock today. What happened to the agreement to buy Jet A1 at 500 naira per litre announced back on March the 14th? There was also said you would have an import license. But if there's already dialogue back in March, what's the I guess the update on that? And based on that, with not seeing anything come out of that so far, do you have confidence that whatever discussions will take place today will yield a more positive result?
Okay, the agreement that what is just kind of a soft, I think, agreement in the sense that, okay, in the interim, this is what we are going to do, but going forward, let's look at the lasting solution to that problem. But because it was done haphazardly, and at the end of the day, I think either NNPC, the marketers, I understand the motivation of the marketers, because you cannot go and tell the fuel marketers that have gone to the black market to go and buy their product through the black market to get their source to buy it and to come and sell it cheap. We understand that. We totally understand. So the agreement that we had was NNPC normally bring product. They import product, what they call the PIF. So the agreement was NNPC will bring that product. We are promised 25,000 metric tons was coming. And when that comes, we will now select certain marketers that we know. Those are the marketers that always we buy product from them. Then we give the shortlisted marketers to the NNPC so that NNPC will give that allocation to them. And they will give them at a price of, okay, we agree at that time, look at it back and forth, then we agree at 500, which was not really good for us, but at least at the, when the fuel price was going to like 550 to 600, at least we are saving about 100 naira per liter, which is at least something. So when the product came in, along the line, how they did, what NNPC or PBMC or whoever did it, how they now distract the whole thing, they went and give some other people. So back and forth, we came back again. We even went to the point as we have discussion with the chief of staff, and which I think now what really escalated. And the reason why that discussion was still ongoing, but all of a sudden, 4 days ago, the marketers now send their price review. Maybe because of the landing cost or whatever it is, I don't know. And that was really trigger. When we look at the numbers, we realize that, okay, if we continue operation, the minimum, if you are buying fuel at Jet A1 at 100, 700 naira, 680 per liter, the minimum ticket fare economy is not going to be less than 120,000 to 150,000 naira. So tell me, how many people can afford that in Nigeria? Are you going to say, oh, this is what I'm going to charge, and at the end of the day, you are going to go with 10 passengers, 20 passengers traveling, so you have not achieved anything. So what we try to do in all this is just try not to push this burden to the traveling public, because the only thing an airline can do is to increase the price. Imagine when the base fare has gone to 50,000. There was so much cry right and around the country that, oh, ticket fare is so expensive. Even at that, what the airlines are doing, we are just trying to say, okay, at that price, you look at it, if you don't have X amount of passengers inside your aircraft, still you are operating at loss, because the cost per unit is not even up there. Because at that time, we're supposed to charge at least minimum of 75,000 naira per seat. But see, the airlines are still subsidizing. We are charging less than $100 per seat per hour. So okay. That discussion is going to continue. That's where we are with the 500 naira per liter.
Okay. Also, Captain Abdullahi, we had a very in-depth discussion on this on our flagship morning show. Why don't you just raise prices? I mean, if your cost, you've laid it out now. You said with where fuel is, it's going to cost you 120,000 or more. I mean, that's your cost of doing business. If you don't do that, then is the AON not essentially going to be asking for a subsidy from the government when you meet? So which is it? Why not just raise prices, and that's the nature of business, and just deal with the consequences? Because it happens in other airlines around the world.
I understand what you are saying, but you see, aviation is very, very different business. As you know, in any organization or in any country, aviation is the industry that drive the economy of the nation. We can do that. But is it what we really want to do? If we have to do it, we have no choice, but we can do it. But if you look at it, if you go to America, there's no single airline in America that is owned by American government. But if there's so much crisis and the aviation industry is so much affected, you realize that government have to come in, step in, and see, okay, how are they going to release the effect on this? What they are trying to do is to protect their own citizens. We can do that, but we are trying as much as possible to see if we don't have any other alternative. We don't have a choice. We have to increase the ticket fare to what is remember. But before you do that, at least let people understand. Let people understand this is what the airlines are going through. The airlines are going through really, really, really hardship condition. But if they see ticket fare is increased, and these are the reason why these ticket fares have to go this way. But I really appreciate the traveling public, because I could see a lot of comment on social media, what is happening, and it's kind of like there's a lot of awareness. The situation is not the airlines doing, but there's nothing the airlines can do at this point in time. But we're pushing, let's also government come in if there is any way. We are not asking, okay, give us money or whatever it is, but what we are saying is like government have to look at this critically. If not, the airline are going to get, the mortality rate of aviation in Nigeria is going to kind of continue, and it will just continue. Who knows? Even if you increase your ticket fare, is it what you want? But at the end of the day, if you don't have people to fly, what is going to happen? At the end of the day, you have to shut down. Then airline will start shutting down gradually.
Understood. Understood. I want to get an update
so that's what we look at it, and we're trying to avenge. Yeah.
Well said. Well understood. I want to also ask of the Spring Alliance that was announced back in March. Have any update there? Any collaborations taking place? Supposed to be, collaborations between airlines and so on and so forth to assist with operational challenges. Is there any update on the Spring Alliance?
Okay, fantastic. You see, after our discussion with the government agencies, petroleum, finance, we look at it, we sat down, we say, okay, the passengers traveling has really, really dropped. At that time, you see that, okay, let's assume I'm flying from Abuja, I'm going to Benin with my aircraft. And what I have, probably I have like maybe 20 passengers. And maybe United is going to Benin also. And maybe they have 30 passengers. So why should I fly into Benin if I look at the cost of my flight is not being covered by the number of passengers that I have? I had rather protect the passengers on United so that United can go at least with 50 passengers. And that is the reason for that Spring Alliance. We don't want to start canceling flights because you don't have the required number of passengers to go, because you know that if I go with 5, 10 passengers, my cost is not being covered. So we sat down, we look at it. Okay, why can't you come into an alliance agreement? The Spring Alliance is, first of all, is just reprotecting. So passengers will not know. As far as passenger is concerned, I want to go from point A to B. I have bought a ticket. So if airline A is not taking me, the airline decided, okay, I'm going to reprotect you on airline B that is going. Which we have been doing, and we have been working. We have been reprotecting passengers on Airpeace, on Dana, on Max Air, and they have been reprotecting on us, on ARIC. We have been doing that, and it's going on really, really well. Even yesterday, there was a couple of reprotection that was done among us.
All right.
So that is the reason for this coming up with this Spring Alliance here.
Sounds like the Spring Alliance might be the answer. If prices rise and customers drop, maybe that might be the answer to the situation. But we look forward to the outcome of the meeting later on today at 2 o'clock with the federal government and the Airline Operators of Nigeria. We thank you very much for your time. Captain Abdullahi Mahmood, MD of AERO Contractors. Thank you so much for talking to us.